Alright guys, welcome back to the course. Now in this video what we are going to do is we are going to understand a few methods which will help us target a better audience. Okay, so we would need to find out the persona, the kind of persona that our audience has. We have to go down through that entire route, the kind of age that we want to target, the kind of educational background that they might have, the kind of relation and the demographics they would lie on. All of those things we would need to check. You can go through a few documentation as to how you can do that. It is out of the scope of this course. However, once you have found a persona, then what you can do is you can go down to create audience and you can click on saved audience. Okay, now this is the one that we saw, but let's look at it from a different perspective, wherein we are looking at the in-depth procedure of how to find a winning audience. Okay, at least to find a audience that we can layer. So metamorphically it is basically called audience layering. All right, so what we needed to do over here is we have to fill out all of these details. So these are very generic ones, so I'll not go through the entire list. Once you have added a few things, so let's select web design. Okay, so what we are doing is we are searching for a few things that a person must have to qualify as a persona for our business. Now it could be anything. Let's consider that we are targeting web designers. Now if they are web designers, they should also be related to something related to probably entrepreneurship. So maybe the category, the kind of people we are looking for should also lie in both of these things, and hence we can select it either in the same one because it is either one of both. Okay, so once we are basically doing it in the same panel, it is going to be one of both, either this one, or it could also have both of these. Now what we need to do is we need to narrow the audience down. Let's narrow it down, and now as you can see over here it says also must match. Okay, so this should match, and only then we'll be able to select one of this and one of this. So let's select one, any random thing, for you to understand how the entire thing works. Okay, so we have selected. Let's narrow it further. So three stages of narrowing is something which is recommended, because those are the three things that needs to be in a customer or be in a prospect for you to qualify them as a probable lead that you can show your entire ad to. Okay, so just an example, we have added web hosting, computing, HubSpot, and web design. Now as you can see it says also must match and also must match. So these are the things that needs to be over here. Okay, it should match this, it should match this, and this as well. Now since there are two elements that we are basically adding up, any one of them should match, but other ones are mandatory. This should remain within their persona. Okay, now we can also exclude all of these. Now we can basically exclude a few ones that we do not need, but in talking about overalls, we can have like 6 to 7 in a single one, and then probably we can have also must match 6 to 7 interest or demographic details that we can have, and the same way for the third one. That way the different combinations will match up, but ultimately you will have a winning audience that has the variety that you are looking for, and also is good enough for you to convert to paid customers. So I hope that audience layering is something that you understood. Anytime you are creating an audience, first of all, creating a separate audience within the saved audience itself, it's a good measure instead of creating it within the ad panel. So you also saw in the previous video that we can create the entire audience in the ad panel. However, it is not a good measure. You need to plan it very well and create your audience. That is one of the most important things. And just as an example, you can see that there are three different circles. Now it should lie on all of those if in case you are selecting as also must match. So this was the entire point of this video. I hope you understood the concepts. We are going to look at a few more concepts in the future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.